हाँ,
आ
हो
गया है,
गया।
रिकॉर्डिंग इन प्रोग्रेस आ गया। तो सर शुरू करें फिर?
हाँ, शुरू कर लीजिएगा सर।
हाँ, so I welcome Dr. Lakshmi Kant ji, who is the director of this Vivekanand Parvatiya Krishi Anusandhan Sala, Almora, and it is our honor to host him. And in fact, we are grateful to him for agreeing to this proposal of ours on the part of our institution, as well as my personal request basis also. So I am very thankful to him. Now I will request our head of the research center at Chandigarh of the institute, Dr. OPS Khola sir, to introduce the speaker.
Okay.
Khola sir, please.
हाँ, थैंक यू डॉक्टर झा। आवाज आ रही है सर? क्लियर?
जी सर।
आ रही है सर।
Okay. So it's my privilege to welcome Dr. Lakshmi Kant, Director VPKAS Almora. Actually, Dr. Lakshmi Kant is very close friend of mine also, so it's feeling fortunate to introduce him. And Lakshmi Kant basically is from the Nainital area, and he has taken birth in that particular district. And as far as education is concerned, Lakshmi has done BSc Agriculture and Animal Husbandry, as well as post-graduation in plant breeding from the G.B. Pant University of Agricultural Technology, Pantnagar. And Dr. Lakshmi Kant has done his PhD from the IRI New Delhi, and afterwards postdoctorate from the University of Sydney, Australia. As we know that Dr. Lakshmi Kant is basically a plant breeder, so definitely specialization is basically in plant breeding, specialization in the barley and wheat particularly, with reference to rust resistance and molecular biology aspects. And in this specialization, Dr. Lakshmi Kant has published around 86 research papers in referred journal, in addition to the 4 books and many book chapters, and of course other things I'm not mentioning. Presently holding the position of director, and in the credit of Dr. Lakshmi Kant, there are many awards, honors, and fellowships. To name a few, particularly he has been the recipient of the ICAR Award for Outstanding Interdisciplinary Team Research in Agriculture and Allied Sciences, with special reference to crop improvement during 2005-06. He has been the recipient of Australian Leadership Award Fellowship in Plant Breeding from the University of Sydney, Australia. Then Krishi Anusandhan Sansthan Samman under the Mahatma Mahindra Samriddhi India Award. Then he has been the outstanding contribution in the coordinated work of NHZ for National Zonal Coordination, and M.V. Rao Memorial Award. And in reference to the fellowships, he has been the fellow of the most prestigious academy. We normally call it NAS, that National Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Fellow of the Indian Society of Genetics and Plant Breeding, of course, in his own specialization, and the fellow of the Society for Advancement of Wheat Research, in which basically he is the expert. So I will not take much time. I will not come in between you and that Dr. Lakshmi Kant. So with these words, Tasha, welcome to this particular discussion. Of course, we will be happy to listening you again in this particular topic. So please start your discussion.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khola Saab. And first of all, let me thank your director, Dr. Madhu, and head Dr. Khola, and my close friend Dr. Sujit Jha for giving me this opportunity. And Dr. Jha was trying for last 4 months, and due to my busyness in one other assignment, I could not do it earlier. So let me share my slides. I hope it is visible.
Yes.
Quite visible, yes.
Okay. So the present day today, the topic is hill agriculture, its status and prospects in the present scenario. And if we look at the performance of agriculture in the country, this is a very significant progress has been made. And if you see in food grains, we have increased it 6 times what we were at after independence. And then in case of nutriceuticals, this is a very happy, pardon? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Others are quite audible. Please
Yeah.
continue.
In nutriceuticals, this is a happy situation where we have reached to the production of more than 50 million tons, and which was stagnant for 30 billion tons for last so many years. So this is a very happy situation because world over awareness about nutriceuticals is increasing. Pulses, you know, it is a success story. We are close to 26 million tons, but still we need 3 more million tons to meet our demand. The rice and wheat, if you see, almost wheat is almost 110 million tons, and rice is 122 million tons. This is a real area where we need a diversification. We have to diversify because this is the excess production, which is again a problem for us. And it has to be diversified with suitable other crops. And you see this horticulture, we have made a tremendous progress. Milk, we are the #1 in the world. Fish, we are the second largest. So these are the high value commodities which needs to be more research effort is required here, particularly in the changing need of the consumers. And you see eggs also, we have made a significant progress. The most significant is during last almost last decade, we made around agriculture export has been increased by 3.5 times. This is a remarkable achievement, but still there are a lot of opportunities to increase this export. If we see the global total GVA, overall, you know that due to pandemic and other reasons, the overall growth was in negative. But fortunately, this agriculture GVA growth rate was positive, and it was 3.6 in spite of the pandemic and all odds. So this is a very enjoyable scenario which has come through the hard work of the farmers and researchers and policymakers. If we see that India's position, we are almost second largest agrarian economy in the world, and number of crops we are second, and soon we will be reaching to first position. If we look at the trends of Indian agriculture, then there is a very significant thing that in last 2.5 decades, the GVA is increasing. GVA share is decreasing. Sorry, it is decreasing from 35 to 15%. But you see this household which are dependent on the agriculture, it has increased by 40 million. This is a very alarming situation, and workforce is almost not much reduction is there. So this is a area which is slightly disbalanced. Our proportion in GVA is 15%, but the dependence is almost 50% of the population is dependent on the agriculture. So this has to be reduced, and these has to be diverted to non-farm or industrial sector to reduce the burden on the agriculture. The composition, changing composition of rural incomes. If you see, earlier it was 60% of the wages were coming from agriculture. Now it has reduced to 43%, and wages and salary, it has increased by 50%. And non-farm sector, there is not much change, rather it has reduced by 1%, but this is the area where most of the population has to be diverted to reduce the work burden population on the agriculture. So with the increasing population, you know that there is an additional food demand due to population, urbanization, and income income is increasing and middle class is increasing. So there is a additional food demand. With this increase in income and middle class, there is a shift in consumption pattern. And the cereals you see, the consumption, this is a rural area and this is for urban area. And the cereals proportion in the consumption is decreasing, both in rural and as well as urban. Sorry. Whereas the high value commodity like meat, dairy, fish, etc., it is increasing. So more research effort has to be put in these high value commodity areas. And you see beverage and processed food, you accept it or not, but in both the urban as well as the rural population, the consumption pattern is increasing. And here you see in the rural areas, it is almost 100% increase is there. And realizing this, the farmers has also shifted their production pattern. And from 90s to the 17-18, the food grain proportion has decreased, whereas the high value agriculture that has increased by 55%. So due to this, there is a stress on land, labor, water. We all know soil health is a really degrading soil health is a problem. All of you know it better than me, and climate change is a challenge. So low crop yields are there. There is a scope for increasing the yield. And the major concern is high and rising food losses and wastages, both at value chain level as well as consumer level. And it is estimated that around 30% of the food produced goes wastage due to this. And technology disruption is there, and technology has to play a very important role, maybe IT based or others. But this is a reality. And you see earlier people used to depend for example, you take example of apple or any other fruit. The farmer used to wait for the truck to come and to take it to Arthia. But nowadays through IT based, he knows the information about the rates and can sell his produce to those areas. Coming to hills, if we see distribution of hills and mountain region in the country, there are 9 different regions. But today we are mainly concentrated on northwestern Himalayan region, and this includes Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, and Ladakh Union Territories. If you see through EC mode is it in Nepal. It has given the 5 different kind of agriculture in hill agriculture or mountain agriculture. The number 1 is pastoral, where a major area is covered by 54% area by livestock farming and rangelands. And the main is yak, sheep, and goats are the main livestock there. Then second is agro-pastoralism, where a combination of agriculture and livestock farming and high dependence on rangeland. Then shifty cultivation, as you know all, that jhum cultivation in northeastern hill region, where slash and burn agroforestry practice, and then crop and fallow. And then comes the middle hill farming. This is the major area which is dominated by agriculture integrated with forestry, agroforestry, and livestock farming. And the last one is cash crop based farming. This is coming up very higher pace, and it includes agroforestry, horticulture based high value crops such as tea, coffee, nuts, fruits, medicinal aromatic plants, spices such as large cardamom, and so on. Hill agriculture is really different, and this slide I have taken from Professor Anand Joshi of BISA, and it defines that large family farming. Largely it is family farming, and it has contributed for the sustainable development. The other feature is that small scale diversified with the integration of forest husbandry and activities. Then low carbon footprints, mostly organic, evolved in an often harsh and difficult environment. Too many challenges. Climate change is one challenge, then socioeconomic dynamics is also challenging. Migration, both inward migration and outward migration, that is a big challenge. And then this has been affected by the trends in global development, which has significantly reduced the resilience, and therefore to a multidisciplinary holistic approach is needed to improve livelihoods in these areas. And this again I have taken from Professor Arun Joshi, and this typically depicts the hill agriculture scenario, where forest is also important, animal husbandry is very important, and agriculture, crop production is also important, and their domestic ecosystem and socio-economic condition, that is very important. So livestock is the engine and inspiration of mountain economy. We will not be dealing, this is not my area, so I will not be dealing much about this, but I just want to highlight that this is very important. Having said that, as we know that hills and mountains are very fragile ecosystem, but globally they are important as they are the water tower of earth. But the irony is that this water is local use of this water is very rare, very less. These are repository of rich biodiversity, recognized as 35 global biodiversity hotspots, occupies 20% world land, provide life support to 10% of humankind, and about 40% people adjacent to the adjacent medium and lower areas are dependent on hills. So this is these are the rich land inhabited by poor people. These are subject to adverse and harsh climatic conditions due to excessive rainfall, sometimes relatively low temperature, soil acidity, poor soils and shallow soil, avalanches and earthquakes, erosion due to steep slopes. The high intensity rainfall, prolonged drought, and increased temperature due to climate change has added to these vagaries. And you see, these are the recent climate change disturbances. Drought, many times we are facing for 1 or 2 months, particularly during the rainy season, there is no rains. There are flooding. We are getting increased incidences of flooding. Earlier, we never heard about flooding in hills. Then heat and cold waves, then erratic rainfall. It is really unpredictable and very erratic now. And long dry spells already told, and new pest and insect pest population is increasing. And you know that warming rate is in Himalayas is more than the global average rate of temperature increase, and that too, this is very high in higher altitudes. If you look at the land use pattern of Himalayan states and vis-a-vis to the country, the Himalayan state 43% area is under forest, whereas in all over India it is 21.5%. The net sown area is only 15%, whereas wherever in country it is 46%. And you see the pasture in the country it is 3.4%, whereas 13.49% area is covered by the pasture, but they are very poorly managed and low productive. If we see that average farm size, this is Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, it is less than 0.2 hectare, and Uttarakhand it is 0.33, but if we remove the plains area, it will again come to less than 0.2, whereas in the country it is 0.4. 0.5. Pardon? Hello. Hello. I think somebody is.
Original, original.
Dr. Pankaj.
Yeah, please note कर ले भाई जिनके.
अरे डॉक्टर पंकज.
और डॉक्यूमेंट भेजने तो.
हेलो डॉक्टर पंकज. हेलो.
हाँ डॉक्टर साहब मैं कॉल कर रहा हूँ उनको.
वो तो ईमेल से.
अरे डॉक्टर पंकज.
अब उन्होंने और भी बहुत सारे सर्टिफिकेट.
मैं कॉल कर देता हूँ उसको.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है.
आयुष.
Shall I move?
Sorry, Doctor sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. If we see the area production and productivity of major crops in hills, particularly in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Jammu Kashmir, in case of wheat, you see the area is reducing, but the production is increasing in Uttarakhand, and productivity is also increasing, whereas in Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, it is almost static. Similarly, in case of rice, the area is almost same during last 5 years. Production is also, you can say, it is more or less same, and productivity also not much difference is there. This green line is for the country, whereas in the country it is increasing. Similarly, in case of maize, area is almost similar. Production is also very similar, but productivity is slightly increasing in case of Uttarakhand and Jammu Kashmir. Rather, in Himachal Pradesh, it is very surprising that it is reducing. In case of barley area is increasing in Uttarakhand. That is also a very surprising fact, maybe due to malt barley cultivation in plain areas. And barley production is also increasing in Uttarakhand, whereas in other states it is almost static. And the productivity is also increasing in case of Uttarakhand. If we see Ragi is very important crop, particularly next year we will be celebrating the International Year of Millets, and it is one of the important component there. And it is one of the important crop in Uttarakhand. Though the area is increasing and production is also, area is decreasing in Uttarakhand, whereas negligible area is there in case of Himachal and Jammu Kashmir. And production is also decreasing in case of Uttarakhand, but the productivity is almost slightly, it has increased slightly, and it has reached to the level of 2016-17. So this is a very cautioning area, and we have to do something. Particularly the technologies are available, and state government has to really push these technologies so that the area as well as the production and productivity increases here. Similarly, the small millet, again, the area is decreasing, but a good thing is that productivity is slightly increasing here. So total cereals, there is slight decline in the area, but production is almost same, and a slight upward movement in the productivity. In case of pulses, the area has slightly decreased, but the production is slightly it has higher, and productivity almost slightly increased. In case of food grains, the area has decreased, but production in case of Uttarakhand has slightly increased, and productivity of all the three states slightly increased. In case of oilseed also, the area has decreased, production has also decreased, but the productivity is almost slightly decreased. If you see at vegetables and fruits, the area under Himachal and Uttarakhand is almost same, but the production of Himachal Pradesh is much higher than the Uttarakhand. So there is a scope for improvement, and the fruits again, there is a lot of improvement required at Uttarakhand. If we see a overview look at hills and plains comparison, we have the data of Uttarakhand, and you see that this is a production, the productivity is almost 50% in most of the major crops, and some of the crops it is 70-80%. So there is a scope for improvement in these crops. If we see at the weather pattern, this is a 56-57 years data at our center, and you see there is a decreasing trend in Kharif, whereas the Rabi it is not very clear, and annually there is a decreasing trend in rainfall. And out of 56 years, 27 years are defined as a drought years, and out of these 27 years, 11 years or 10 years in Rabi, they have been the severe drought years. So this is the change in the climate. As far as temperature is concerned, this temperature is increasing. The maximum temperature is increasing, minimum temperature is decreasing. This is another situation, and this monsoon and post-monsoon, the temperature is this winter temperature, then summer temperature. Summer is okay, but this post-monsoon, this is creating a problem for Rabi crops, whereas this monsoon period, the lowering of temperature in September-October months, it is creating problem for rice cultivation. And you see, this is from Prasoon Gangopadhyay, Bisa. In Uttarakhand, he has studied the agriculture vulnerability, and you see these districts, and this red color, there is rise in temperature, And this Chamoli, Pithogar, and Bageshwar, there is rise in drought years, and this Champavat, there is decrease in July rainfall. So this is the situation, and the others are mild to low risk areas. So within a state also there is difference in the climatic conditions. This is one news appeared in Indian Express, where IIT Mandi, IIT Guwahati, and IIS Bangalore, they have studied the four parameters: socioeconomic status, sensitivity to agriculture production, forest livelihood, and access to information services. And they have categorized the states, 12 states of hills, including northeastern, in a vulnerability index. And you see, Jammu and Kashmir comes to highly vulnerable, Himachal Pradesh mid vulnerable, and Uttarakhand less vulnerable. So this is a comparative one, not absolute terms, but in comparative one, this is the situation. So in this situation, in this scenario, what are the challenges? And now, as we are surplus in food production, and these hills, they have a specific agroecological zones. So we have to change the subsistence farming to income-oriented or profit-making farming. So first is that lack of established market. That is a number one challenge. Then there is no linkage between producer, processor, and trader. There is a large lack of a strategy for development of markets. Huge productivity gaps. This we have to fill up, as I have just shown you. And in this case, climate resilience will be a big issue. And the most important one is that non-availability of seed and other agricultural inputs in right time, right place, and right quantity. That is the biggest bottleneck here. And then the poor extension of improved package of practices. Extension machinery is in really very bad shape, and that has to be strengthened. Then due to the farm size, very small holdings, there is a very poor mechanization is there, and there is need to do a lot of research work in this areas. And wild animal damage is really become a problem, and wherever we go, farmers are very disheartened with this one. And we really need to have some innovations in these areas. Maybe the young coming engineers and startups, they can take this as a challenge. And 85%, 87% area is rainfed. In spite of plenty of water, water goes away, but we cannot use that water. There is a large number of small farms with weak organization building. Then low R&D investment. As you know that in India, we are almost investing 0.3% to 0.35% of our GDP, whereas in developed countries, on 3% of GDP, they are investing in the R&D. Then poor quality management. The quality management is really poor and neglected, and almost no processing is there. And then because lack of mechanization, lack of transport, and all those things, there is it is intensive. Hill agriculture is intensive in nature, labor oriented, and labor cost is very high. So in these conditions, how to secure the income of the farmer, that is a big challenge. And with this, we have to keep in mind the SDG goals, and the no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, and climate action partnership. These are really concerned to agriculture also. And you see that now access of food is there, and the government is distributing, providing the food to the poor. But still the poverty is 17%, and the economy is access to the food we have to see. Then nutritional security has to be along with the food security, which is the SDG 2. Then you see recently there was a ranking, and the our hunger index, we are 101 out of 116 countries, and malnourished children, around 50 million children are malnourished. So we have to more focus now on the nutritional aspect, because food security we have already achieved, but food security with nutritional security is required. Now let us see what are the strength of hill agriculture. The first one is that we can produce what others cannot produce. That is the biggest strength. We can produce safe food, nutri-cereals we can produce, temperate fruits, flowers, fishes, honey, medicinal aromatic plants, and so on. Then another strength is that whatever we produce, there is a high quality and nutritional is improved. Then comparative advantage in organic food production, oxygen vegetable, traditional pulses and oilseed, and medicinal aromatic plants which are temperate in nature. Then we do preserve the biodiversity here. Then technological options are available, both ICR and SAUs. Number of technologies has been generated which can really help in this direction. And government policies like Honeybee Mission and Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, and then Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, all that, those can play a big role. And then for these produce, we can get a premium price. And we are, as I have shown, that almost 48% area is under forest, and we are contributing in carbon management and then environmental sustainability also. So we should talk about a green bonus because we are providing water and sunshine and all these things to, and in return hills people should get some economic advantage in this one. And then there is a high use of FIM, which improves the soil health as well as carbon. This is a very comprehensive diagram given by Sushil Ramola and Dr. Tej Pratap. This shows that hill agriculture you cannot do in isolation. You have to have agriculture crops, you have to have horticulture crops, livestock, pastures, forest, off-farm livelihood, rural sector. All these has to be there. And the mountain specificity already you know. But the intervention areas at the policy and planning and investment, then technology and extension, infrastructure development, and then trade and marketing. Therefore, we have to have a niche-based development of hill agriculture. One general recommendation or one general kind of treatment will not work. And for sustaining sustainable development of hills, these are very important component, and they have to be knitted together. You cannot do it in isolation. And in hills, agriculture has been really accused for the migration of youth from the hills. And fortunately, Uttarakhand government has made a Palayan Ayog, a migration commission, and it is very surprising in that report that number one is unemployment. The migration cause is due to unemployment. Second one is lack of educational facility. Third one is lack of medical facility. Fourth one is others. Fifth one is wild animal damage. And the sixth one is low productivity of agriculture. So this is a very eye-opener, but still we cannot be complacent by this fact, as large number of people, their livelihood depends on agriculture, and we have to be very serious about making the agriculture a profitable venture in hills. So profitable hill agriculture or sustainable hill agriculture, what can be the approaches? This is efficient cropping system and diversification we have to do, and contingency crop planning is very much required. Then water management strategies and protected cultivation has to be in a big way to play a big role. As I told that a lot of water, all the snow-fed rivers, they originate from Himalayas. But the Himalayan people do not use that water properly. Then utilization of climate resilient varieties. Then pest management is a real issue, and this has to be managed, the existing pests as well as upcoming pests, that both we have to be ready. Then hill agriculture is mainly dependent on it is a woman dominated agriculture, and we have to work for the treasury reduction due to manual in labor. So we have to introduce suitable farm implements to reduce the treasury, and deployment of ICT. And then secondary agriculture has to be introduced to add the value and give the jobs in non-farm agriculture areas. Diversification of a cropping system, as I told, it is very much required. In all the three states, some information has been given about diversification of the existing cropping system, but still a lot of work has to be done in these areas, and particularly introducing high value medicinal aromatic plants in the cropping system, and then nutri-cereals and all that. In protected cultivation, again, they have tried in different cropping system and found out that this 3 number, this is the best one, as it gives the best BC ratio, and the carbon production productivity, energy productivity is highest. But still a lot of work has to be done in this area also. As I have told that we need to have a contingency crop planning. Many times there is a delayed rains, sometimes no rains in June, that kind of situation, and sometimes there is no rain in November, December. So we have to have some contingency crop planning. And one of my colleagues have tried this and found out that this, you see, okra is the best one among these 3 dates. It gives almost similar, or you can say slightly higher production in 10th to 20th July, but these 2 dated almost similar. Finger millet is a crop, you see, it can be grown up to 20th July, and so is buckwheat. But soybean is a crop where you should not go for after 10th July. Whereas these 2 crops, amaranth and horse gram, they give almost similar yield in 3 conditions. So this is a good information. This like this, we have to have contingency crop plannings. In case of Rabi, this wheat equivalent yield, you say after 5th December, it is not very advisable to go for planting. But in case of wheat, we have some varieties which we can show up to February. So we need to have a very short duration varieties for this kind of situation, both in case of wheat as well as lentil. Water harvesting, as I said, it is very important, and there are different technologies with different institute, and this is one of the popular technology where you can harvest the water in polyline tank and then use it for this crop cultivation. Different at our institute, we have applied different protecting material for this one, and finally we have come out with this one where the blocks, this polythene is covered with a block made by local sand, and the water cost is almost ₹1 per liter, and it is very useful for fish farming also. This harvested water has to be efficiently utilized through micro irrigation and other sensor-based irrigation, and particularly it gives a very high productivity when it is harvested. It is used in polyhouse conditions. But again, polyhouse conditions, after a few years, we have been observing there is a inoculum buildup of pest and nematodes. So for these conditions, these portable polyhouse, this can be very useful because you can move it from one terrace to another terrace, and this is in 3 pieces. Here you can see this is in 3 pieces, and this once you have cultivated the crop here, you can move it to another one. So this has become very popular, and it is commercialized also. This both water harvesting and protected cultivation, we have shown in one of the village, and this model is known as a Bhagavatala Model. And at this village, there are 105 polyhouses and 40 poly tanks, and the water was very less, but it was harvested, and their income increased by 2.7 times. And this has some of the farmers which has left the village, they came back. So this has led to reverse migration, and now the farmers has we have made one SHG, and there is one FPO also, and whoever goes there to visit their farmers, they charge for it. So it is agro tourism can also be promoted like this. And this is the site earlier, and this is now poly tanks. So these are the polyhouses, and these are the tanks. And you see, in 10 years, their income almost 2.75 times it has gone. And you can see the produce in those areas. Now there is with the latest technology of GPS and all that, there is a new technology where you can find out where is the natural flow of water, and based on that you can do water harvesting. Coming to climate resilient varieties, not all the varieties can sustain the climate vagaries. Some of the varieties which I have listed here, they can be, but the idea is that they should have a short duration, not long duration variety, short duration, and they should be able to have, they should have the drought tolerance also. These are some of the varieties. In vegetables, in polyhouse conditions, these varieties can go. If we see the yield gap, I have given both field crops and vegetable crops. You see, if we fill up this maize field graph, which is highest, we can earn only around 30,000 extra. But if we see the vegetable, that garlic, you see 5 lakhs. So these areas, hill areas, are more suitable for vegetable and fruit cultivation. So we need to diversify and move to vegetable cultivation in these areas. When we see this, the seed is the number one component, number one input. And if we say, if we take the example of Uttarakhand, you see this data I have taken from the Department of Agriculture during their seed meeting. There is a huge deficit of certified seed demand, whereas the breeder seed and foundation seed is quite okay. Here is some shortfall, but it is quite okay. So this is the real problem, because this seed has to go to the farmer's field. And if we cannot improve this one, we should not expect any change in the farmer's productivity. And the situation is vegetable seeds, it is really pathetic and more severe, and planting material. The farmers really get cheated in this, and by they take hybrid seed and pay very high, but the quality is not that much good. So this area is really where more efforts are required. Drudgery reduction, as I told, this is a very important aspect in hill agriculture, and this is also required to increase the efficiency of the farmers. And some of the small tools has been developed, and they have been popularized also, and they have, some of them, they have gone in thousands and thousands. Like this is a maize sheller, this is a paddy thresher, this is a finger millet and barnyard millet thresher, and this is a iron plough, which has again, and these are the small tools where we, the farmers can use, and they are ergonomically designed and reduce the drudgery of the farmers. You see this iron plough, this is in Malari, and this is in Mana. And you see with this pony, the farmers is using it. Coming to pest management, this white grub is one of the menace to hill agriculture. And there is a technology to manage both this adult through this light trap, and this grubs through this one talc-based formulation, where we have isolated one bacteria, and that bacteria kills the grubs like this, and it is a foolproof technology. New grubs, new insects are coming with the change in climate. This is a tomato pinworm, and this is a fall armyworm. Now in hills also, this has reached to everywhere. It has come from South America, and so we have to alert the farmer, give advisory, and sensitize the state government to arrange the control measures and sensitize the farmers. Last year we got locust also. So these are the upcoming problems with the change in climate. So we have to be very rigorous to manage those insects. So what are the opportunities? There is a big growing market potential of hill produce. This is very good opportunity. Then there is a growing purchasing power of consumers, particularly in metros. You see a lot of people are there who are behind the hill produce, and growing health issues. Then 80% of the gross crop area is under rain-fed conditions, so we can have a dual purpose crop or fodder crop. And then organic cultivation, this reduce the subsidy load, and then earn high export earning. We can directly nowadays through IT, we can have direct linkage with the foreign countries, the market, and then we can export it. Organic, pahadi produce, or nutri foods, we need to have a marketing network for these. Then water harvesting and poly protected cultivation has a big opportunity. We have a big scope here. And then use of solar pumps as I was telling that irrigation is a real problem, and this use of solar pump can give a real boost to hill agriculture. Then agrivoltaic and agro-ecotourism, this is a big opportunity in hills, particularly seeing the very bright sunshine here. And a lot of tourists is there in the metros who want to really see how the crops are being cultivated, what are the operations, and they want to do. So this is another scope. Then mechanization, I told, is a very important aspect. But the cost is a concern. So urbanization model in farm and mechanization can really help here. Then use of ICT and drone and AI sensors and agri startup, they have a big opportunity. So we have to reduce the carbon content, carbon load also. So DSR, the areas under rice cultivation here can also be changed in DSR and zero tillage, so that to reduce the carbon CO2 emissions. Then processing, PST, biofortification, and nutri-food and bioagents, they have a big opportunity here. But not only one technology will help, but we have to have a package of technology for hills. Just coming to value addition and secondary agriculture, you see these, I have put two examples of mushroom cultivation, and this farmer started in from 9,250 and 1924 lakhs. And you see this value addition we have to really have in hills if we want to improve the economy of the hill farmers. And through Gramya in Uttarakhand, a IFED led project, some of the efforts has been made, very good efforts has been made. And you see this is one of the shop where these value added products are being sold. And similarly, you see this is one product where we have converted a brown seeded variety in a white seeded finger millet, and these are the products which will fetch high market in the metros, and this is a real demand creator. And you see the farmer which has produced the mushroom, they have made a pickle and added the value to this one, and this is being sold almost 3.5 times higher than the mushroom price. And for marketing, you need to have a idea. This is a Pahadi PC loon. It is nothing. This is a salt mixed with some of the spices from hills, and it is it is almost 100 grams, 190 rupees. And this is nettle leaf. So there is a lot of scope of value adding here, but we need to have a proper networking with the market. This is one example, kiwi. India is importing 1,500 tons from New Zealand, from Chile 250 tons, Italy 350 tons. And in Arunachal Pradesh, 300 tons is already production is there. But still we are importing, and this is not reaching to the market because there is no packaging industry and there is no marketing strategy. So these kind of problems we have to overcome if really we want to make it a profitable venture. As I said, that ICT has to play a big role. It can play a role in weather forecast or agro advisories, then crowdsourcing of stakeholder participation, early warning system, and marketing connection, and mobile will be a game changer. As you see, the future of agriculture is dependent on really on ICT. Here, the mobile is used for taking observation. Here, sending his produce to the consumer. Then online, it is showing to the trader. So like this, we have to, and she's getting advisory through mobile. So mobile is a very important component, and as we know, we perhaps have the highest mobile user in the world. And like this, we have made some apps which provide the full information to the farmers for cultivation. And in coming time, drone is going to be a real game changer in hills because of inaccessible areas. And now you see that nano urea is coming. and nano fertilizers are coming. Many they have to spray and use. So this is going to be very important. And we are importing apple from USA, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and China, and there is totally fully mechanized and IT based. All the operations are there, so we can also have this in our hills and inaccessible areas for disease monitoring, for spraying. All those things can be done through this one. And while animal damage, I told this is a very big issue in hills. Number of monkeys, monkey menace, wherever you go is every farmer talks about this one. And wild boar damage, the crop is damaged by like this. So All India Network in vertebrate pest management, they have developed this one Agri-Cannon and it is a carbide gun. There is a carbide is put here, and then you just ignite it. It gives a sound, and then the monkeys are dispersed. But over a period of time, they also realize that this is not very harmful. So you need to have a strategy and different, and many the startups can really devise new devices for this one. This is a bioacoustic device where different wild animal sound is fitted, and this can be mobile operated and solar one. And in night it gives that sound, and the wild boar thinks that some danger is there and do not damage the field. But again, it has to be really changed over a period of time. Some local innovation has been made. This is one I saw on Facebook, and just to keep away the birds and monkeys, this keep on drumming this one, and sound is there. Finally, whatever we do, that we have to do for that our approach should be farmer centric, because ultimately he is our stakeholder, and we need to keep him in the center. And this is perhaps the last slide. And increasing irrigation, increase in irrigation facility in rainfed areas, solar pumps, that can be a useful here. Then climate change provide us new opportunity to grow new crops in the region or period not considered suitable earlier. Then diversification of the cropping system and sequence, like we can put saffron, wild cut flowers, floriculture, cannabis, nettle, hing, beekeeping, mushroom, underutilized nutritional vegetables, etc. Seed production and supply system is a big question, as I showed in one of the slides. Biofortification of variety or agronomic means this we have to do through nutrition to ensure the nutrition security as well as get premium prices. Then we have to find out best practices for water conservation and efficient utilization of this one. Then agrivoltaic, this can be attractive area, and government support is required because the initial investment is too high. Secondary agriculture, we have to have a storage and post-harvest processing. Then circular economy is required, as we do not want to create much of waste now. And this can be a policy issue, but certainly there is a need to have diploma in agriculture, which creates the para-agriculture and horticultural staff to support the farmer in far-flung areas. Then funding like NEH is required here. Then incentive for farm mechanization, that Uberization model I told, that is required for popularizing the mechanization in hills. Then ICT, drone, and AI agriculture, that is the upcoming areas. And for all these, government policy support is required. This is just want to show that it is a solar pump, and bore size is 125 mm, and horsepower is 1.5, and discharge is 30 liter per meter. So this is going to be very important if we want to really increase the rain-fed area. And this agrivoltaic, you know that it can be used for generating the power. You can use yourself, you can provide it others, or you can give it to the grid. And these kind of agrivoltaics we have to have in where we can have a crops, and then you can generate the power also. This is my last slide. So this is this says that getting involved may be natural in reaction, but remaining attached is a conscious decision and need awareness and purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi Kant ji, for excellent presentation. In fact, I'm not only me, but I think all the participants must be appreciating the kind of works your organization is doing. A lot of works, and if it was just a glimpse, so let us hope for the best. So I think now it is open for some kind of queries or interactions with the speaker. So any queries or question to be raised by any one of us?
This is Dr. Pradeep Dogra.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Lakshmi Kant ji, I have a question for you. Given the unsurmountable problems or limitations of hill agriculture, you see, there's limitation of irrigation. You can't have amount of irrigation that you can have in plains. Then there are accessibility problems, and there are many climate change problems, and there are many. You have well listed all those the problems there. So should our strategy be a little different for the hill agriculture? Why shouldn't we try to first identify the boundaries within which we can get the best out of hill agriculture? Because the contribution of that zone is more environmental contribution rather than agricultural contribution to the country. So if that is so, we should not try to push the agricultural contribution too much. We can do to a certain extent. We should identify the boundary, and within that we identify what best we can do. For example, identifying the niche crops and doing whatever possible. It will be very prudent because it will help us to concentrate only on those areas and then get the best and leave the other areas as such, because the environmental contribution that is coming from that area is unmatched. It is no doubt. It is not coming from any other part of the country. So it is a water tower and everything. That thing is there. So our approach should be, I'm just repeating myself, is first we identify the boundary within which we should work in that area. Moreover, you see, in the future, as the development occurs in the country, the aspirations of the people living in that area will increase for more income and all that. And you, as the report from that Palayan Department of says, the agriculture productivity is not the problem main. The problem of migration is because of some other reasons. So why should we not be little bit clear that what should be the work actually should be done in that hill agriculture, finding those boundaries and giving our best for those identified areas and leave the other areas as such. This is my query for you, and I would like to hear your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it is not a query; it is rather a suggestion, and I take it. I do agree with you, and but the thing is that everything depends on the policy. What is the policy? If there is a support, as for last couple of years, people have been trying to get green bonus. If there is a incentive for protecting the environment, people will go for it. But in areas, you see, there is a lot of change. People have gone for kiwis, and they have diversified with kiwi. Then they are going for sea buckthorn. Many areas they are going for this saffron, and like these kind of conditions. And yes, we should work for only those identified areas. But the thing is that the farmer is more innovative than us. He knows what has to be done and what has to be taken. And but I really I would say that we should not move the field crops to the hills. Let it be in valleys only, and wherever the irrigated area is there, farmers will definitely go for the vegetable cultivation and fruit cultivation. But there are areas, as I told, that 90% area is rain-fed, and in those areas you cannot take vegetables. So farmer, some of the crops, like they will sow wheat, and if rainfall is there, it will come. So one thing we have to keep in mind that in far and inaccessible areas, whatever the farmer is growing for his own sustenance, that is very important, because at times when there are avalanches and road blockages, only that whatever he has produced, that comes to her or his escape. Yes, that is a good idea, but some of the things will keep on going as it is, because it support the farmer, it's a food security. But other areas we are seeing a lot of changes, as I have shown one village that protected cultivation. There was not even a single poly house there, and now there are 105 poly houses. And the Uttarakhand government particularly is going in a big way for protected cultivation. So the scenario is going to be changed in coming times. But in valley areas, where large valley areas, still farmers are with their own rice wheat system is still existing there. And we need to really work for diversification of that one. I hope I have given your answer.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? In that case, Dr. Lakshmi Kant, I have got few queries.
Okay.
I think again, coming back to the same theme of course, not boundary, but I will call it as a domain. So I personally feel encroachment of domain. As per your last slide, when we talked about finally, there the word hing was mentioned. And recently, of late, I was very happy to note that instead of highly dependable on Afghanistan, and especially this when this Taliban and all issues has come, so we are really having difficulty in procuring and importing hing, and our maximum hing is imported from there. But somehow government has tried to introduce the cultivation of hing in Himachal Pradesh and Palampur area. So they have started. So I was very happy to note it, but not so happy to know that instead of ICAR, they have entrusted this responsibility to CSIR.
CSIR.
So this I find very ridiculous. What is being an expert in hill agriculture? What is your opinion about it?
Actually,
or is it the only on the way to be passed on to ICR?
No. Let me respond you. It is like this, that actually we are situated in hills, but our mandate is only for field crops and to some extent vegetables. We need to really change, and when horticulture should be number one in hills. Field crops should be on the back, but horticulture should be one. So recently we have sent a proposal through RAC to diversify our mandate to include medicinal aromatic plants. There are number of medicinal aromatic plants, wild flowers, which requires very less water. And in that rain-fed condition, they can do, and they have a very high market price, like this hing and those things. So if council agree, our will be, that was given to CSIR because they have a station in Palampur.
Yes.
For high altitude areas.
Yes.
So it is like this.
No, but I thought being agriculture, it should be exclusive authority of ICAR. Another query.
That's what I said. Policy.
Yes, let us understand. Yes, I understand some policy issues might be there, but anyway. So I am hopeful that very soon at least your organization should get the nod for changing that and modifying that objective or mandate of your institute.
We have sent a proposal, and Dr. H.S. Gupta is our RAC chairman. I hope he will be able to push it.
Oh, sure. All the best. Then another query. In fact, one comment I would like to share, and one query is there. So one comment is there regarding that animal husbandry. You told that it is not my domain, and you skipped that idea. But nevertheless, you very highlighted one very significant thing, that livestock are the engine. That word I liked very much. That dialogue of yours I liked very much, and especially I am very appreciative of your gesture non-verbal gesture shown through your all slides that you are trying to acknowledge each and everybody by giving their names, slide by this slide, no hide and seek. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So coming directly from director to appreciate each and everyone who has helped and contributed in preparation of slide, each slide having different name and something like I loved it. So anyway, so but recently, as you know, I was just around almost 1 year back. I was continuously for more than 27 years at NDRI only. So when Dr. Chauhan joined in 2020, afterwards we had got a MOU with Central Agriculture University, Manipur.
Okay.
And there, that how to popularize dairying amongst those northeast area and hilly area and tribal belt, whatever, just to popularize, because there was that, you know, that hill area agriculture focus was there, that TSP plan or something like that, hill area TSP. But ultimately, off the record, we came to know through those co-PIs from there that most of the time, the calves supplied, they are being utilized for some other purposes, not for the intended objective.
Okay.
So ultimately, they feel very happy, and ultimately it is resulting in food and nutrition for them. But the original intended objective is missing. So if this kind of food habit or nature or attitude will be there on the part of those people, what would be the appropriate idea or opinion from your side, having an experience of continuously living in this hilly area? What should be the right proportion or a pragmatic strategy for overcoming this? How we can encourage them without harming the animals? We should not go on the plate, instead on the field.
What to say about this one? It's very, very difficult.
Of course, I even we were afraid how we can write this in report. But anyway, so it's still that project is going on.
Okay.
On paper it is going. Anyway, the last query.
But in Uttarakhand, I will tell you,
yes,
that they have found out one Badri cow.
Badri, yes, I have heard.
And this milk is, they are telling that it is a A2 milk is there.
A2.
There is some protein which is very good for your heart and all those things.
Yes.
And it has a very high market price. And its ghee is being sold around maybe 1600 rupees per kg. 1600 rupees per kg. And some of the villages they have converted in Badri village. What I was telling, that that change mandate, we have also mentioned about, we have asked for 2 animal husbandry scientists, and particularly this goat, and goat is here. Goat is a very good income source for the farmer. Let us hope if it is done. And this Badri cow project is going on very vigorously in Uttarakhand.
No, that is good, because now A2 milk, that is in very making a lot of news.
Yes.
And it is the rate you are telling, it is Patanjali 2.5 times of Patanjali's rate, which is also claiming to be organic kind of thing. The last query on my part regarding, I think somewhere it was missed or something, MFP, minor forest produces. Before the advent of this environmental concern and Ministry of Environment and everything, which came later on during, I think, the tenure of Rajiv Gandhi and all that, prior to that, these things were not so much difficult. But once this environment business came, so now suddenly so many ban or this or that. So minor forest producers was an easy source of livelihood for most of the hilly people. That they are now finding difficult, apart from man and that animal conflict. What is your comment?
Actually, again, the policy earlier, what was there, that there was a collaboration with the farmers. You can say cooperation or collaboration, whatever you want to tell. There is a forest, people are protecting the forest, and they are getting the produce in return from the forest. For they are getting forest and like this small those things. But suddenly of 10-15 years back, the policy has changed, and then the people don't have any right on the forest and they are not getting anything. And that's why number of fire in forest fire cases has increased. So this actually has to be taken at policy level.
Policy level.
Policy level.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Once again, I request my colleagues, anybody else having another query, before I will be handing over the mic to our Honorable Ojasvi sir for his comments on the overall presentation and the speaker. Ojasvi sir, please. It is our honor that Dr. Lakshmi Kant, let me tell you just now, because in between your presentation, I got the phone call from director's office.
Yeah.
That probably our director and few of the scientists are preoccupied with some visit or something like that.
Okay.
So earlier he was supposed to attend here, and along with even the chairman of that Azadi Ka Amritsar Mahotsav. So some scientists are also not able to attend it.
Okay.
But we are very thankful to Ojasvi sir for a very short notice. He has been asked to play being the ex-director, now he has to play the role of this directors, what director sir was supposed to give his comment. So Ojasvi sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jha.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Namaskar, Lakshmi Kant ji. And I'm thankful to Dr. Lakshmi Kant. We have heard him on several platforms, but this was unique with some new contents. And I congratulate the Chandigarh Center team, Dr. Khola Saab and Sujit Jha, for organizing your lecture on Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It was very comprehensive, so to say. Of course, no other person can deliver the situation of hill agriculture in such a comprehensive manner. And we have been working in this area for past 50 and more than 50 years. VPKAS, of course, is more than that. I have some observations. I have spent in this area, I think, more than 20 years. It's only 15% of area in agriculture. In Uttarakhand, I think this situation is same in other 3 states, Himachal Pradesh. And the problems which you have highlighted remain the same. I think it is time that we should come forward, because no other institution like ICAR and its subsidiary institutions can do it in a better way. Why the people are talking about green bonus? They are non-technical persons. I'm open to it. We do not know, even I'll say we at the ICAR Institutes do not know how to monetize those benefits which these hilly regions are giving to the entire country. And we are talking about green bonus. I mean, year after year, we are changing our focus on something else. Somebody has come up with the idea of green bonus. The agriculture takes agricultural issues are taken aback. Somebody talks about, tourism in agriculture. Again, the production and productivity issues are taken aback. We should be able to, we have the capacity, and we should be able to put forward an agenda, comprehensive agenda, like you have presented. How to start the development in agriculture. I mean, it should start with the natural resource management and input management, and establishing marketing linkages, and coming out with the value chain system for the hill agriculture, because a lot of potential is there. It's not only cereals and pulses.
Yeah.
It may be floriculture, it may be, you rightly said, fruit production, vegetables. But those things are being addressed in a very, scattered way. I mean, not very focused. Whereas we can put forward an agenda to the government, maybe state or central government, that this is the entire process of development of hill agriculture. Resources are not a constraint. Only thing is management. And we have the technology to manage different types of resources. And with these, this 15% area under agriculture, we can bring about the economy of these hill states to a level which may be called developed. Like Switzerland, people are already talking about Switzerland and other countries where cold climate is there, but they're still producing. They are following commercial agriculture. So that is the need of the time, that we should do that. Of course, we are doing, in your presentation, everything was covered, but it has to be done in a very concerted way. Otherwise, helter-skelter type of approach, somebody is talking about green bonus, somebody is talking about ecotourism and this and that. And that problem of hill agriculture and the farmers are taking a secondary importance. So in that sense, these kind of events, of course, Dr. Jha will make a proceeding and it will be conveyed to ICR. And ICR, our headquarters, is taking it very seriously, all the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav proceedings. And that will certainly bring about the new light to the problems. We have also organized some of the webinars focusing on natural resource management. You have done it for agriculture. So combined these efforts, I'm sure something will come out. The government is very positive, but a focused way of doing things is required. So on the behalf of the Institute and the Chandigarh team, I again thank you, Dr. Lakshmi Kant. You have given your time. You're very busy, I know, because you are invited to many forums out of the Almora. You're traveling a lot, I know, but giving your today's presentation was very good and very informative. Thank you very much for that. And hopefully we'll be being in Uttarakhand, we'll be able to do something for the betterment of agriculture in these hilly states. So
Sure,
thank you
sir.
very much.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. And I do hope that some of the things may be again forwarded to that RSC committee by Dr. Lakshmi Kant, and so that at headquarter level something can be done. Because especially I think this is the right time. Sir was very correct that this is the right time, because suddenly a lot of hue and cry is being raised about natural farming and organic farming and vis-a-vis doubling of income and all that. So I think this is the high time. And once you try to go for that kind of modification also, because I also felt like even you are so lucky to have that valley of flower, and that flower you should take over, and spices you should take over, and medicinal plants you should take over. It should be complete, not this only crop or what you told.
Yeah, that's true.
It should be open type.
That's true.
And then your I think only sky will be the limit for you. What sir was trying to suggest. Even our senior colleague Dr. Dora sir was also telling almost same thing. Why there should be border?
Yes.
Why there should be no border? For you people, it should be everything. Whatever can be grown, it should be coming under the domain of agriculture. Whatever could be cultivated, it should be agriculture. And if it is agriculture, then Vivekanand Krishi Anusandhan Sala for ICAR-IISWC, that should be given this responsibility. So I really feel and do hope that your RSC will take care of your suggestions, and accordingly it would be modified. And again, I will join my senior colleagues in appreciating your overall presentation and further discussion where you have tried to honestly answer the things. I am very much thankful to you for acceding to my request. Of course, there was a slight this I think difference in terms of 2 months, what you told, not 4 months, but I was behind you for 6 months since August, when I was given this responsibility to conduct the first on our Chandigarh center side. So in August, but you then told I am right now very busy. So next time I will see. So next time, and again in November I requested, but somehow again you are preoccupied with something. But anyway, finally third time lucky. So thank you very much for your nice presentation, and on behalf of the institute, on behalf of the center, and on my personal behalf, I am really thankful to you, and especially because it generated a lot of queries. So I think even people might have enjoyed. Of course, there are many people who may not have liked to maybe disrupt the proceedings, and that is why maybe I think Sir Sarma sir, would you anyway? So again, at the same time, I am thankful to our director sir, Dr. Madhu, and his team, especially the office staff who have been regularly interacting and doing all the office works regarding communication of these messages. Then I am thankful to Ojasvi sir for at such a short notice he was asked and requested to be here instead of in the absence of director sir, and he has done the justice. Thank you very much, sir. I am also thankful to Dr. N.K. Sharma sir. Sir, welcome, sir. Sir, Sharma sir, you are visible on Khola sir's mobile. Hello, sir.
Their signal problem is there, Dr.
I think they are in farm. Farm.
Yeah.
But I am able to see him anyway. So I am thankful to Sharma sir also, because being the nodal officer of this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and all that, and continuously has been supporting and motivating, and all the requirements, nitty-gritties, including technical things. He and his team, especially Sri Amit Chauhan ji and his team, have been providing. So I am thankful to him and his team. Sharma sir, now you are able to listen to me? Mute. Your phone is mute, sir.
Unmute कीजिए.
Sir.
Yes sir.
Yes sir, welcome you. Almost
हम लोग
over now, but anyway sir.
हम लोग एक्चुअली फार्म पे हैं आज. वर्ल्ड पल्स डे मना रहे थे हम लोग, तो इसलिए सॉरी.
Anyway sir, no problem. Dr. Lakshmi, sir, Dr. Lakshmi Kant ji.
मैं लक्ष्मी कांत जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ.
नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब, कैसे हैं आप?
हाँ डॉक्टर साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. हम सब अच्छे हैं. उम्मीद करते हैं आप भी अच्छे होंगे. आपको सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगता है, तो हम लोगों ने ये डिसाइड किया कि आपको फिर सुना जाए. जितनी दफा आपको सुनते हैं नई इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है सर, तो मेरे ख्याल में आप हम पे ये कृपा बनाए रखें. कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन उत्तराखंड के आप ही ऐसे लोग हैं जो थोड़े हमें हमारी नॉलेज को अपडेट करते हैं इन रिलेशन टू द क्रॉप
सर ये
प्रोडक्शन।
सन ऑफ द
तो सर
सॉइल
हमारे
हैं,
साथ आप
सन ऑफ द
हाँ, हाँ।
सॉइल, डिग्री से लेके और पूरा जिंदगी इन्होंने सेवा में लगा दिया,
Nice of you, sir.
उत्तराखंड की सेवा में।
हमें लगा दिए।
जब यूपी सर, जब वो यूपी
चलिए,
था,
ठीक।
उत्तरांचल बना, उत्तराखंड बना, ये कंटिन्यूअसली उसके विकास में लगे रहे।
विकास में लगे रहे, बिल्कुल सही बात है। तो डॉक्टर साहब हमारी शुभकामनाएं हैं
Thank you,
आपके
sir.
रिसर्च
So nice
वर्क
of
के
you.
लिए और सभी के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
थैंक यू
थोड़ा
सर,
सिग्नल
थैंक
की
यू।
प्रॉब्लम आ रही है यहाँ फार्म पे, तो
जी,
इसलिए सर। ओके, थैंक यू वेरी
Okay,
मच
sir.
सर।
Okay, thank you. At the same time, I am also, so I was just taking the name of Sarma sir and somehow he was visible. Similarly, I want to thank Khola sir, who is the head of our regional station at Chandigarh, who has been continuously supporting and motivating me. Even today itself, you won't believe, although he is not at Chandigarh, he is also in Dehradun, along with Director sir and
Yes.
Sarma sir. But since the morning, so many times he is already continuously in touch with telephone and all that, WhatsApp and mail. कि अरे भाई देख लो, मतलब it should be properly, and even during my absence nothing should be amiss like that. So very concerned for that. I am very much thankful to you, sir, and thank you very much that you could make it well in time to introduce the speaker. And with that, last but not the least, I am thankful to all of my colleagues and participants who were able to attend this. And with that, I once again thank the speaker, our dear Dr. Lakshmi Kant ji, with the hope and best wishes for his future endeavor as far as his suggestions and policy changes to be forwarded through RSA to the headquarters is concerned. And let us hope for the best for him and his team. So thank you once again, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you.
Sir, should we close now?